What up, dude? Hello. Alright, it said we're live. It's 7:01. Oh, you are being silly. Dude? Hello. Okay. Sound is good. Loading up. Booting up. How's it going, Nighthead? You're doing great. Uh-oh. Hey. Microphone unplugged. Sorry about that. Okie dokie. So, rat advice. Come play. No password. Host a spectator. Boom. It's up. Lobby is open. Gorgazon is fine, but let's find a different map. Let's find a different map. If you don't know what the stream is, we did one earlier today. We've done one last week, but this is the first one, the North American time zone. It is essentially an open lobby. You can hop in, get a game or two. I'll spectate, talk about your builds, talk about matchups, those kind of things. Give you some notes on your play and whatever. If you are Falcon, Alfredino, Ice Power, anybody who's really, really good at the game, this probably is not the stream for you. Because I don't have a whole lot of build advice to give you. Otherwise, hop in, play a couple games, that sort of thing. If you're a veteran of the tournament scene, please try to play a new faction and learn them rather than hop in and load up one of the builds you've played 1,000 times, because that's not going to be particularly helpful. And also, you might be playing someone newer, and stomping them into dirt with your tried and true builds is not very nice. You look like you'd be named David. That's cool. My name's Austin, but not that. Top advice from prospective Wood Elf players: don't bother with war dancers. Got it. Ready to get stomped because I suck at multiplayer? Chaz, that is exactly what this is for. It is for stomping noobs into the dirt. No, it's about opening a lobby so people can get some good stuff going. As for matchups, there's no pick and ban. There's nothing like that. We just have unit caps on, so treat it like a quick battle. You can build whatever kind of army you want. If your opponent counterpicks you, like, you know, you're playing dwarves and somebody picks Skaven, you can feel free to switch factions, and if that other person keeps switching factions to counterpick you, I'm just going to boot them. It's I don't know anybody anything, so it's not like, oh man, there's nothing I can do. I can't boot the person that's obviously being a toxic dick. No, they're out of here, so don't worry about it. Just play what you want to play, and you let me worry about your opponent. As for attacking rules, forest rules, all that kind of stuff, it's just a be cool atmosphere. You know, always be trying to attack in some form, and we're not going to worry too much about rule breaks or anything like that. But if you're obviously sitting in a corner camping, again, it falls under the I have the right to boot you out of this room if you're being a dick at any point in time. I don't have to I don't have to answer to you. I don't have to answer to anybody. Just don't be a dick. It's up to me what is inappropriate behavior. All right. If someone plays dwarves, just let me get in lobby with high elves, please. Got him. It looks like we have a dwarven mirror match setting up, which could be interesting. I'm going to grab a drink of some kind. I just had to get the stream up and running. I'll be back before this player's ready up, judging by how quickly they're doing the build. So, BRB. Burb! Burb! I'm back. Calm down. I'm back. I want to turn my microphone further in direction up towards me, but I don't want it to unplug again. This is a giant pain in the ass. Okay, so there's that. I'm now going to cautiously close the door so I don't bother Grace, and we're good. Getting the show into full swings, gentlemen with a Dowie mirror. Dowie mirrors aren't that bad. They aren't that bad. It's It's not like both sides just going to take a bunch of Dwarf Warriors and Longbeards and just grow. Oh, no! Oh, dear God! No, it's going to be fine. Hazel bite? Hazel's not going to bite. She's on a walk with her mom right now. But when they come back, I just don't want to... My shouting can be a lot. Why is my Discord not showing any notifications ever? Okay. Okay. Mark in red. 3 is up. Chaz CT2 is up. Let's go. Let's do it. Wait for the lobby bug. There's always a lobby bug literally as soon as we start, just because that's... Total War doesn't like us trying to have fun around here. Can't tell if I can hear noise or not through my headphones. Alright, block her down. So now all Legendary Lords have Siege Attack? Really? Agoraphobic news? That is very strange. That is strange news. I don't know how I feel about that. Because then that would mean like the Fey Enchantress has Siege Attacker. Howling Gorse has Siege Attacker. Okay, yeah, I can hear things. What's your opinion of the best faction for land battles? Slaanesh took some nerfs, so I think they might have fallen down a tier. Warriors of Chaos is still very good. Tzeentch is still very good. Honestly, a lot of factions are doing quite well, but if you had to just like pick the single most strong, I would probably say Warriors of Chaos. Yeah. Probably the best overall, though Festus and Slaanesh took a nerf for them. Probably. Oh, yeah, no, Coops is right. It's Cathay. It's Cathay. Though Cathay does have some counters, but Cathay overall is the best, yeah. There's a lot of good ones, though, I think you can see as by my little dilemma right there. It took me a while to even give you an answer. So, there's plenty of good ones. Warriors of Chaos is good, Slaanesh is good, Tzeentch is good, Cathay is good. Empire and Bretonnia have been faring pretty well. I think Lizardmen are good, but we've not been seeing a lot of them. Oh, Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings are still really good. So all those. The struggling ones would be Demons of Chaos, Dwarves, and there's another one, but I'm forgetting it right now. Whatever. Fey Enchantress, the ultimate seizure, I guess. So talking about these builds. For Chaz and the Dwarves, this is quiet as hell. Sorry, the sounds just bother me. For Chaz and his dwarves, we have the Warriors Dragonfire Pass Dwarf Warriors, then a bunch of Dwarf Warriors in the front line, 2 Hammers in the back line, one of which is the P8 guard with magic damage, which is fine versus dwarves because they don't have magic resist anymore, they have spell resist. Double cannon, some miners in the trees, and a front line of Rangers with great weapons. Cool. Solid build in the Dwarf versus Dwarf mirror, I like it, it's fine. The only thing I would maybe upgrade is Dwarf Warriors to being Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. On the other side we have, for 3, we have 4 Rangers with great weapons. They are excellent in this matchup. Binders, blasting charges. We do have an Iron Drake that can roast through a bunch of people. Longbeards, again, without great weapons. The only note I would be is bring great weapons. We have a Thane, Rune Lord, a Cannon, and the Goblobber Grudge Thrower. The Goblobber is good in artillery duels, but not against dwarves, because dwarves have uniquely high leadership, so the Discourage aura actually doesn't do that much against them. So I do think they'll be suffering some here. I have a video coming out soon, I promise soon, about Vanguard. Chaz did run into some of the problems with Vanguard. If you Vanguard super far ahead of your force, you might run into troubles if the enemy also Vanguards. But it looks like Chaz was able to pull away relatively quickly and suffer little from the consequences. Blue Dwarves are currently winning the artillery fight. They actually have 3 cannons, not 2. One was just outside of my eye of shot. And 3 is doing the right thing. If you're losing the ranged fight, you do need to abandon it as quickly as possible, and they're moving up. They're not bothering to hold a defensive position when they're outnumbered 3-1, and debatably, a cannon is better than the grudge thrower in the artillery duel. So purple is advancing, trying to push a little bit of an advantage while they have one. They also have better range pressure. And like I said, they had 4 rangers with great weapons, which are excellent in this matchup. Both players correctly identified that. Versus 3. And they also have more miners with blasting charges to try and get through the front line. So the blue front line is in a bit of trouble. That being said, I really wonder what's going to take out the hammerers. The hammerers are uncontested. The other side has nothing for elite infantry, so these throwing axe rangers are really going to have to focus down those hammerers or they'll be in big trouble. 3 is off to a rough start. One of their cannons did rout, as is not shocking. And Chaz is even getting some interesting little flank play with some of the rangers. Rangers with great weapons acting like pseudo-skirmish cav. Yeah. Killer Lion? Yeah. Tian answered it perfectly. It's just hop in, you know, play some games, then let somebody else have a turn. Get some notes on your builds and stuff. So for the 2 players, red for 3. At this point, probably needs to take some of these miners that have used their blasting charges and run them out here and harass the cannons, because they'll beat the cannons in melee combat, but they're not going to do too much else up here, and they really do need to shut down that cannon pressure. Iron Drake's getting nice shots off on the peak 8 guard, very nice prioritization of what they're supposed to be shooting. Althar's Raiders would also be a good target. Where are the other hammers? Currently surrounded. Surrounded by worse units. They'll probably win that throughout. Killing other rangers is fine to secure your rangers. The only thing I worry about is you're running out of ammunition. So you might win the ranged fight and then turn with your rangers to help the frontline fight, but you're now all out of ammo, so you can't help anybody. So that could be a concern. These miners still have all their blasting charges. Althar's Raiders would be a nice target, but these Iron Drakes are doing a surprising amount of work. They routed off the peak 8 guard, which not having armor piercing on the fire I thought would have hurt them more than it did, but they are actually roasting Althar's Raiders too. These Iron Drakes are trying to carry the game. Something knows the balance of power is rather inflated for blue because you have 3 cannons all with a large amount of ammunition and they're unharassed. That could not matter in the late game because cannons can't finish off infantry very well at all, but something that will matter is Thoric Ironbrow is the meta lord for a reason. He is bodying some kids. What's the lobby? It's like rat, play, come say hi or something. Come play. I don't remember. It's a very obvious lobby name if we ever get there. The Runesmith casting rune magic next to Thoric Ironbrow also damages him because it counts as a spell. That's kind of fucked up. That's kind of fucked up, Thoric, that you've also corrupted all the rune mages around you. But Thoric is going to be a tough cookie to crack, especially without the Rangers. Rangers with great weapons do have some ammunition left, but they're sprinting out to deal with the cannons rather than shoot the hammerers, and now they're getting intercepted by some of these deep-set miners that Chaz actually had to protect his cannons. A good play, an interesting play. A strange play. Did miss that this one's happening here, so in the future he'll want that one back, that he didn't quite notice that Rangers were sprinting up to his cannons. So his miners are a little asleep at the wheel, but these ones are fully on top of what's going on. Frontline fight for blue was going okay, they're just outnumbered too much. We're outnumbered too much. Now the Thane is a pretty good duelist, he can fight with Thoric, but Longbeard's trading better than I would have thought in Hammerers. So these Hammerers are still giving it all they've got, Captain. Like, no hit points left, nothing here, but just a single file line of dwarves is walking into the butcher's shop. And it looks like the cannons are trying to finish off good old Thoric Ironbrow. These cannons could be rallied and brought back up to remount their places, distract enemy cannons for a bit. Rangers were eventually routed off by the miners, but it looks like in the center, one of these Rangers with great weapons is going to take out this cannon. So it's 1/3 of the blue dwarves' firepower down. They do have some rallying troops coming back to the cause. And really, this Thane is going to need to win versus Thoric Ironbrow, or this cannon's going to have to remount and shoot his ass. Otherwise, they're about to lose this game on balance of power alone. Grind for grind, I think they have a shot, but the balance of power really favors your Lord's HP, plus your sort of quote-unquote caster's HP, and Thoric is both of those while yours is dying, so... Balance of power, unfortunately, is a bit of a wench. It's a nice blob for the cannons to shoot into. Yup. 4 out of 4 models on that one, 4 out of 4 on that. But we do have some sneaky Rangers coming back. Shh, don't tell anybody. Ew, yeah. With the Thane losing this badly to Thoric, though, it might be GG. If that Runesmith could rally somehow and put a 1 Rune of Wrath and Ruin right here. Oh wait, that's Thoric. Thoric needs to do that. He's the blue dwarf. There's too many dwarves. Yeah, if we get a Rune of Wrath and Ruin right there, that's going to be army losses. Let me see it. Who's this casting for? Okay, just cast the Rune of Doom. Ooh, Rune of Doom and the Master Rune of Speed. That is wild. Hammers with 95 melee attack and cannon shooting in. Army losses is going to hit. And, yeah. That's it. GG. I like the play from both players. I think Purple's build could have used a little bit of optimization. I don't mind the Thane, but Thoric is just so much of a better Lord than the Rune Lord, pound for pound, cost for cost. He did a lot of carrying that fight. 2,500 plus giving global buffs that don't count towards his value. Thoric single-handedly carried this game. Both players had a pretty good idea on what they needed to do with their builds. I actually liked Purple's build overall more. I just think the Lord and Hero combination plus the artillery was such, unfortunately, like, not the pick that I think it really hurt them. But I liked, and we saw that 3's infantry corps was stronger. They won the ranged fight, they won the frontline fight, and then it came down to just 3 cannons plus Thoric Ironbrow was too much for them to overcome. If you're going to have this weak of an artillery corps in the Dwarf mirror, you're going to have a cannon and 1 artillery piece that focuses on leadership. Again, I hate the Goblobber, so I would get rid of it in a Dwarven mirror. But in general, if you're going to take 2 artillery pieces, you're probably just going to get outshot. Just ditch them, focus on the rush. I liked your rush a lot. Could get some more miners with blasting charges, could get some slayers even. Giant slayers are good in this matchup, so. Unfortunately for 3, their build was just too generalized. And in the mirror match, you kind of have to lean in. In any mirror match, you kind of have to create an advantage for yourself through your build somehow. Because if you go generalist, you know your opponent's going to have something they can leverage against you. In a mirror match, it's like, we have the same tools, so. I don't know. Their Longbeards performed a lot better than I thought they would. And the Rangers won the ranged fight and they pushed on. So they got a lot of value out. Iron Drakes were a cool pick. They're a very cool pick. Not one that I would have expected to do well, but they did, so. Yeah. But Thoric. 1 more. Did I do okay? Yeah, you did fine. You can play 1 more. That's fine. Do whatever you want. Mirror matches have a lot of rock, paper, scissors to it. Yeah. I hear some of the YouTube usurper going around making claims. But I won't into Dwarves, yeah. GG, that was fun. That was fun. Good job, you. So if you join the lobby, you can play 1 or 2 games, whatever your preference, just not 3. 3 would be a little greedy. And then get the fuck out of here! Just get out of here! Counts versus Ogres. I've only seen this once. So I don't know how I feel about the matchup just yet. I know the Ogres won it the first time I saw it, but I thought on paper it would be Vampire Count's favor. But then again, the players playing the Ogres was rather good at them. So, don't know. No, wait, they didn't win it. Did they? No. Yes. No. No, they didn't. They had 3 lead belchers, and they were trying to kite the Helm and Gorst blob, and all the lead belchers used all of their ammunition, and they didn't even kill the zombies. Now, there are some caveats to that, in that I thought the target prioritization was a little weird. I wish the lead belchers had shot the corpse carts that were doing the healing rather than shoot the zombies. I understand their thought tactically, because they're like, if I kill all the zombies, the corpse carts have nothing to buff, and I can walk up and just kill them with my ogres. Even lead belchers out of ammo can beat a corpse cart. But after the healing buffs the Vampire Counts got coming into Game 3, you just can't out DPS their healing across an entire army. So I would have preferred the players snipe out the corpse carts using their lead belchers and pistols and all the kite and stuff. And then pick off the shattered remains of zombies that have no healing or support. So maybe the matchup isn't that bad. Maybe it was just a decision-making thing, but yeah. Lead belchers used all of their ammunition, and then the Vampire Counts were just like, you done or what? And ground them out. Hopefully you can hop in next game before soccer. Coops! Coops, why do you lead such an interesting and fulfilling life? I think that's the real lesson here, is you need to calm down. I'll let you fire all your ammo, then I'm kicking your ass. Me and you, Coops? Sure. Or if Coops is gone, I think Killer Lion wanted to hop in. Anything is fine for me. I'm just here. Alright, the Ogre build is mostly done. They have 1 gold left, so I assume they're finished. 3 is ready. We're going. I'm not allowed to have hobbies, rude. You're not allowed to have hobbies, dude. You're not allowed to have things you enjoy outside of Total War Warhammer. That's it. First time counts. Hope you don't embarrass yourself. Counts are hard, man. Counts are hard. As much as it's a meme that they have this healing blob that just won't go away, while that's true, the blob won't get anything done. You need to get stuff done around the blob. That's the trick of playing vampire counts. Staying alive is easy. Killing the other guy, difficult. Phoenix King, that's a good reference. 300 OG movie. Why are wolf rats with poison red and without green? That is a good question. Agoraphobic names. That is a good question. I don't know. Counts are weird to learn. Yep. I don't really play too much counts. The only counts I enjoy is when you have a Dragon Lord. That's the only way I personally enjoy counts. I used to play a little bit of Vlad on foot, but I just eventually got sick of it, where it was like, yep. Either I win or lose on this one guy just walking around. So for the Ogres, you never, as any faction at all, want to take the vampire counts in an honest fight. That's just not going to work for you. Their entire faction is designed around melee and cavalry, just melee fighting. That's it. They have no range tools whatsoever. So the game is balanced around them winning the goddamn melee fight. Don't ever try to outgrind the counts. It's not smart. Which we can see here. We do have some ranged assets. We have 2 lead belchers, powder guts, man-eater pistols. These are an excellent, excellent unit. In general, just great. They're super good in melee. They're super good at range. And if you get into melee with them and they're losing it, they get even better. So, love the powder guts. If you're going to play ogres, you should probably take them. We have some ogre bulls with dual weapons. I don't love those as much. I usually go Iron Fist, but that's just me. I prefer tankiness over extra damage. To each their own. 2 Nobbler Trappers, 2 Gorgers. Scrag the Slaughter to try and heal up the Gorgers. Gorgers did just get a nerf, a buff, so I wonder how well they will finally do. As for Scrag, he does have Bull Gorger and Troll Guts, and he has the Lore passive, so he's going to want to use Bull Gorger a bunch to get the healing out. Nobblars in general on the front line. I mentioned the 2 Lead Belchers, and we do have 2 Saber-Tusk packs. That is the Ogre build. It is nice, it is good. It has a lot of ranged punishment tools, but it also has some boys to keep them safe. Because Gorgers will tear apart bats or dogs or anything. Really good Ogre build. I like it. Good job. On the other side, Direwolves and... Direwolves? Yep. 2 Direwolves hiding in the trees. We do have the Varix Reavers, Black Knights with Lancers and Barding. These guys have regeneration and some higher stats than basic Black Knights. I swear there was another Black Knight, but everything's moving around. There it is. Another Black Knight with Lances and Barding. I think if you're going to get Black Knights at all after their cost increase, you need the Lances and Barding version. The charge damage just does a lot more. And the regular Black Knights are too expensive for their stats, in my opinion. So you might as well just... I think it's like 100 or 200 more gold for these versions, and they're just much better. If you're going to do it at all, might as well do it right. We have 4 zombies. Graveguard, 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 great weapons, great weapons, and Graveguard. Manfred von Karstein in the sky with his mixed lore. He has Fate of Buna, Doom and Darkness, and Invocation Heck. I don't know if Fate of Buna is actually worth it against Ogres. I don't know if they get up to that critical model count of being worth the cast. I guess we'll find out together. The Undead Dogs are beating the Saber-Tusks just because the Saber-Tusks' low leadership. The Saber-Tusks actually have better stats, but the Direwolves don't care. And the Varix Reavers are here to support, so these Saber-Tusks are in a tough pinch. We also have a Corpse Cart with Unholy Lodestone. Provides infinite vigor, melee attacks, melee defense, and AoE healing. So, It's not just blob. Vampire counts want to get this into melee as soon as possible. Ogres want to kite it out for as long as they can. But vampire counts just secured themselves the mobile advantage, which will make backing up for the ogres extremely hard. It's very hard to get your ranged assets to run away if there are cavalry waiting for you there, so then you have to fight the cavalry, but fighting the cavalry takes time for which the vampire counts can hit your front line. So the ogres are on a clock, and the hammer and anvil are coming in swiftly. You're going to have to be careful. Now, speaking of being careful, 3 is going to have to watch out that Manfred doesn't just get bodied in the sky by sitting in front of 3 ranged units. I generally think that this is a pretty huge mistake at the moment. It's not getting punished in this exact game, but I don't think you should ever fly this close to the ogre's ranged assets. Not unless you're extremely confident in your micro to dodge. Which, if you're on this stream and you have that kind of confidence to dodge with the micro, you shouldn't be on this stream. Gorgers are now going to surround Manfred. To be fair, they were hidden until Manfred flew over, but Manfred flew over and should have seen them, and this is the problem with trying to dive on ogres, is all of their infantry are monstrous infantry, so Manfred isn't going anywhere and is going to get shut down. That is a game-losing mistake from 3. It is understandable if you're not used to fighting the ogres, but that is a mistake you only make once. You just can't land with all this mass. Manfred can't move, and Manfred will die. Hope the lead belchers do well. I can never make them work. They're so fragile. Yeah. Counts hard? Counts are hard to play well. They are hard to play well. At this point, without their lord and caster, the vampire counts are most officially doomed. I really don't think there is any possible way they can win this, unfortunately, for 3. For 3, your army build was good. You literally made one mistake, but that one mistake cost you a unit that was a quarter of your army. And also in the vampire counts, your lord needs to carry you through the battle, so mathematically it's a third of your army. Strategically, it's like half or 2/3 of your army. So it is what it is. You learn now that you cannot land in the ogres if you want to get out of there at all. They're just too big. And that is their faction's purpose. Like, I'm not saying that's bullshit that they are that way. It's like, let them have this. They're the monstrous infantry faction. They did the monstrous infantry thing. So yeah. As for Chaz, I liked the build. The Sabertusk packs suffer from, again, I think I'm coming out with a video about Vanguard deployment and tactics. Something you have to ask yourself is, why were they out there? Like, what are you going to flank for the vampire counts? And I'm not doing this to be a dick, I'm just trying to help. The Sabertusk packs running out in the distance like that are like, okay, you're going to flank archers, but the vampire counts don't have archers, so maybe you're going to flank a cannon. They don't have a cannon. There's nothing for them to flank. So your Sabertusk should probably stay closer to your ranged assets so you can protect them. So if the Direwolves and Black Knights want to jump on your Sabertusk packs, you just shoot them. And then even if your Sabertusk die, who cares? You kill the better unit with your ranged assets. But he ran outside of the range of his ranged assets, so then they were alone. The Sabertusk alone lost to Direwolves and the Varix Reavers, so just a heads up for the future. If you have no means of supporting your mobile assets, then don't take that engagement unless there's a clear reason to do so. And against the vampire counts, there isn't. You know what I mean? So there's that. They're really dying from low leadership. Dude, without the healing spam from your lord, vampire counts are not a very strong faction. Your lord is the most important piece by far. Everybody laughing at the ogres until you have to land amongst them. Then it ain't so funny anymore. But yeah, there was nothing wrong with the builds. It was just a quick little mistake. So what I've done is that you put a lord on the ground near ogres. That lord is not leaving the ground. Correct. 3. Very correct. All right. I know Mr. Sloan or Killer Lion or Coops or somebody was going to jump in. We also have Ruckfang. Ruckfang has been a friend for a while here. Popping in, popping out. I think Coops has one game before he was going to do soccer stuff. So Coops, what do you pick for your one game? I do need to switch the map. We've had 2 games of Galleraz. That is plenty. Let's go to deserts. Who doesn't love a good desert? Valley of Thieves is always fine. All right, map set. GG again. I regret those saber tests. I didn't have the dire wolves until it was too late. Yeah, Chaz. Yep, if you didn't have the stream on, feel free to rewind and watch what I had to say about that, about any of your games, because that is the point of this. But you played well. You played well. I don't know much about the vamps. Then you're in the right place. You're in the right place. Stormrunner, why are you awake? Go to bed. Go to bed. Hi, McRightface. How are you? And hitting like. Don't hit the like button. Then YouTube will recommend this to people, and that's not what we want. I ambushed the saber test collapse with cavalry, so at least I got done one tactical thing before I learned ogres keep big thing on the ground if they land lesson. Yeah. No, you played fine. Like, you literally made one mistake that game. It just sucks for you that that was the biggest, like, the biggest problem. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you could make the same mistake with some Fellbats, and no one cares, and the game continues. It's just you don't get another lord, and that sucks. But, you know, it was a 4-minute game. You learned the lesson, you moved on. Start another game, don't do that. Bretonia Campeo de Mundo. What does that mean? Traitor. Traitor GG. Traitor, did you get in touch with that person I referred you to? Because they were asking a bunch of build questions that I didn't know the answer to, and I know you're a build nerd, so I thought you could maybe help them out. Everyone has done the landed lord when they shouldn't? Yeah, dude. Who's the flying lord that I just kept losing? Hold on. Warhammer 2, there was a flying lord that I just kept, like, losing track of, and they would always instantly die. It was Marathi! Dude, for the longest time, I took Marathi and I'm like, charge Grom the Paunch. And then I would look away for, I swear to God, a second, and some Storm Trolls would show up, and I would look back, and I literally couldn't find Marathi because she was dead. But I would look around the battlefield and just be like, where did she go? Where's Marathi at? What's she doing? She's just dead underneath some Stone Trolls' feet. Every frickin' time, man. I know I made some mistakes and look forward to hear their feedback. Oh, I just tore you a new one, dude. I destroyed you. You're never gonna want to play this game again after the horrible comments I had. Dwarf build nerd? Yeah. It was a calculated risk, but boy am I bad at math. That's pretty funny. I like that. Yeah. Monstrous infantry are the defensive version of cavalry. High mass, keep a large unit pinned in, kill it. But what they lack for in speed, they usually make up for in usually higher damage. Alright, Tzeentch versus Norsca. This is actually a pretty even matchup these days after Norsca got a little bit of a love tap from CA. Oh, the Tzeentch build. How do I feel? I've sent a message to that person? Alright, thanks, Trader. Thank you. I want to help all the new people, but some of them ask questions I'm not equipped to answer. Like, how do you build Warriors of Chaos? And I'm like, dude, fuck if I know. They were my worst faction in Warhammer 2. That is true. They were my worst faction in Warhammer 2 when they were strong. And now in Warhammer 3, they got a bunch of DLCs. And I still don't know how to play them. I've also further refined my Norscan arsenal with the assistance of ice power. I am dripping. Why did you ask noob power total war to help you get good at video games? That doesn't make sense. You should ask good people how you get good at video games. Anyway, Norsca build is the new and improved version of Norsca. Marauder champions are actually a real thing now, so it's good that they have included a few. Oh yeah, this is Coops. Okay. We have the Ice Armor Marauders from El Cooperton. Perfect vigor keeps them high and mighty in leadership late into the game. For me, by Bale Fiend of Shadows with nerfed Pit of Shades. I still really haven't assessed its new and unimproved state. I'll see if it's still actually that good. We have Wolfric the Wanderer. I've been souring on him as of late. His Seafang still sucks, and other than that, he feels like he's overpriced for a Duelist Lord. I personally prefer Throg, but that's mostly because of Trader GG, who's in the chat. Chat. I'm having a stroke. Anyway, so Trader has hypnotized me into thinking that Throg is the way to go. We have 2 armored skin wolves versus Tzeentch. That is pretty smart. Their cavalry isn't known for having high armor piercing, so if you get into a fight with them, you'll want the armor. Also, the armor will maybe save you from pink and blue horrors. But being low armored at all just make you pray for Marauder Spearmen and pink and blue horrors, so I like the armored variant. Norscan Ice Hounds, Norscan Wolves. Yeah. God, I'm having a tough night. Norscan Ice Wolves, Norscan Warhounds with poison, and then we have the Beast of Tashnar with the anti-large. Cool. Marauder Horsemen. Thinking about the build. This build's fine. Tzeentch's prevalence to take spawn, I would like to either see Marauder Spearmen here or the Marauder Javelin Throwers. Something to deal with spawn, because right now I worry that any large mass could roll through this line. And Skin Wolves are not very good at fighting Chaos Spawn. They're just not. Chaos Spawn are unbreakable, and the armor piercing is wasted, so it's not a cost-efficient trade. Other than that, the build's fine. I'll just get some Spearman variants. For Tzeentch, we have 4 Flyers in the Furies from Ruckfang. Along the front line, we have Marauders, 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 Marauders. Backline is Spawn and triple Pink Horrors of Tzeentch. Thinking about that. The Lord has Blue Fire, which is an excellent spell versus most factions, but especially Norsca. Norsca is like Skaven, is like Beastmen. They really need their Lord to keep their leadership up, and Blue Fire is the penultimate Lord sniping spell in the game right now, so it's always good. It's especially good against Throg if they brought him. Infernal Gateway is good to take on some of those Marauder champions, though it is expensive. So you probably only hit 2 units at once. Ayano, you can do that if you want, yeah. Towards the end of the stream, I'll let some other people play first. Tzeentch build, Tzeentch build, Tzeentch build. It's fine. I think the Furies are an overinvestment, would be my only note for the build. If your opponent has the Javelin Throwers, the Furies will do okay, but even then, Javelin Throwers can hold their own in melee. Not great, but they can hold their own until backup arrives. And 4 Furies is betting a lot on that stuff existing. Because if it doesn't, what's gonna, like... If they're for the Skirmish Cav, Furies need a sandwich. They need 2 things. So if all your Furies are behind them, nothing's gonna catch up to the Cav in the front. It's not like you have heavy cavalry or dogs or anything coming at them from this direction. And then your Furies coming in from this direction, you catch them and kill them. These Furies are just going to walk at them, and then the Skin Wolves or dogs could peel. And that is not... That's 2,200 gold right there. Or they even got a cost increase, isn't it? So it's 2,400 gold. Like, that is a lot of gold that people sometimes don't think of because the Furies look so, like, innocent. Like, oh, it's some bats. How much can they cost? That's 600 gold, dude! Per Fury! So they really need to get stuff done. I don't know. I don't like Furies just taken for the sake of Furies. I think they need a purpose. So I think 4 is too many. Probably cut 2. The other 2 are fine, but cut 2, maybe get a Chaos Knight or something. Because this Tzeentch build has very little control of mobility. And if you have low control of mobility versus Skirmish Cav, especially the Chaos Skirmish Cav that Norsca and Warriors of Chaos have, you're in for a bad time. Just my thoughts. Because now the Chaos Spawn have to sit back. They can't charge the front line or they leave their pink horrors completely open. And if you leave your archers, quote-unquote archers, because they're pink horrors, which is, they're just demon archers. If you leave your archers completely open, why did you take them? So now your spawn have to not engage in their front line. So you have like a half-effective front line and a non-effective back line. We do have Furies diving in now, and like we literally predicted this at the start, is these Skin Wolves and Dogs are just going to tear apart these Furies, and that's a 550 gold unit lost. And this guy is going to rally before he fully routs. Easy clap. So yeah, Furies are tricky. You really need to have a direct idea in mind with them. Iceform Marauders did push through the front line. They're trying to stop Pink Horrors, but Chaos Furies did get a nice recharge on them. This is a decent use of Chaos Furies. Instead of overcommitting to the mobile fight you're losing anyway, just use them to cycle charge the front line. That is solid play. That's very solid play from Ruckfang. Ruckfang's front line is not having the best day. His Pink Horrors really need to change the tide of the frontline battle, because his Chaos Spawn are currently holding off the endless horror that is the mobile game coming in on the flanks. And these dogs are just tearing apart Marauders of Tzeentch. Yeah. Now, Wulfric is having a terrible life. He is getting swatted at by Chaos Spawn. I imagine Blue Fires have been getting spammed every 4 seconds. What is this? Is this Pit of Balance? How much damage does it do? Not really that much. Another overcasted blue fire. Wolfric is getting traded down. Damage values are very similar, so what... Not to just constantly nag on Ruckfang. The thing he's doing very well is he's focused on Lord sniping down Wolfric. He's correctly identified what target he needs to be shooting. He did hold the Chaos Spawn in reserve for quite a while, and now has charged them out against dogs and other lighter things. He's supporting the front line okay, and he did manage to salvage a losing situation in several points. And we can see that one of his pink horrors is already dead. The other pink horror, since I don't see it, I'm going to assume is also dead. Nope, it's there. He just moved it around, so... His archers are compromised, and he just abandoned them at this point. He's getting what damage he can out, but he's mostly focused on killing Wolfric. This is probably too many Chaos Spawn bobbing up on the same point, but it is what it is. Like, one of these Chaos Spawn units could bounce out right now and hit these guys. Other Chaos Spawn is serving as a distraction for a bunch of skirmish cav. It's a very expensive distraction, but what are you going to do? And the Furies that remain, is there just one? There's one Fury that remains. Is going to go chase down some horsemen, and the Beast of Tash will have to go back and deal with it. Another blue fire pokes down Wolfric. He's getting low. He's getting low. What is the best spell for it? Best spell for what? Sorry, there's a delay, and I read your message late, so I'm not entirely sure the best spell for what. I thought I said, is the blue fire the best Lord sniping spell in the game? Then yeah, it is, currently. I'm impressed with Ruckfang's ability to keep his pink horrors moving. Like, he moved him through the front line to get him into another nice firing arc. That's pretty nice. Another blue fire spam onto Wolfric, really chipping him down. But Norsca's so far ahead at this point that I think even if they lose their Lord, there's just not anything Tzeentch can do. Yeah. That'll happen. So the easier way to think about this, rather than think about them as pink horrors and demons, just think about them as archers, and then you'll see some of the weaknesses of this build, is that Tzeentch had a thin front line, and then they had archers and monstrous infantry, and they had nothing to defend their archers except for their monstrous infantry, but their monstrous infantry were needed to win the front line. So their monstrous infantry needed to be in two places at once, and wherever they weren't fell apart. So the front line started to fall apart for Ruckfang. He used his monstrous infantry to bail that out, won the front line, but as soon as he did that, his back line fell apart because the mobility assets came in. So I think if you save 1,200 gold from the Furies, or 2,400 gold from just not taking the Furies if you really wanted to, though I think 2 Furies is fine. But anyway, saving that money, getting yourself either some cavalry or some more infantry that can stay in the back and defend your back line while you go to the front with the monstrous infantry is fine, but Norsca just had a pretty good build. And Norsca's honestly not bad against Tzeentch. A lot of their infantry are shielded. They trade up the longer a fight goes, and Tzeentch isn't that good in melee these days. Yeah, pretty solid. I really liked the Armored Skin Wolves. They didn't get that much value, but they also didn't take that much damage, so they had plenty left to give. They were just tearing through stuff. Really liked it. Marauder Champions are OG now. Super Chads. They're great. Marauder Horsemen did fine, and basic Marauders did get murdered, but that is their job. On the other side, Herald of Tzeentch did great. Chaos Spawn did great. Honestly, the Pink Horrors got their value back. Furies, though, didn't quite pay for themselves at all, and Marauders of Tzeentch did fine. Yeah. GG to Ruckfang. GG. Jake Fat is here. Welcome back, Jake Fat. I really liked the late game Fury stuff. The rear charges were rather inspired. I feel like I wouldn't have thought of that in the moment. I probably would have just despaired and thrown more of my Furies after stuff. Oh, goodbye, Jake Fat. Now I'm addicted. It is very addicting. Bye, Copes. Have fun at soccer. You said Blue Fire was the second best. Curious what's better. Did I say that? I might have just been stupid. Blue Fire is probably the best. Spirit Leech is also quite good. Fireball is quite good if you're low armor. But, yeah, no. Blue Fire is probably the single best spell. Sorry. But playing Brett against a bunch of actual people was hella fun. Yeah. Some part of me thinks that any infantry besides Brett Anyway, any infantry from Brett outside of peasant archers or mobs is a waste and to get more cav. Yeah. That's why most people just spam peasants and then get cav. Their stuff sucks ass. Though it's supposed to. Their faction is balanced around having shitty peasant infantry and good cav. Grace just texted me, when you're done streaming, I have something to tell you, and I'm like, ominous. It's most ominous. We have Seraphon in, and he is playing Lizardmen, which tracks. Is Tzeentch Cav any good? Yeah. Tzeentch Knight's Lances are pretty good, Ruckfang. How you doing? How you doing? I like the build. You just needed some mobility. Actually, what I just thought of afterwards is cutting 2 Furies. I know I said that. Bear with me. Cutting 2 Furies is fine. I think having 2 Furies is fine, but it's not enough money for anything. I was thinking maybe 4 spawn is too many. Maybe go down to 3 or even 2, and then get a couple Chaos Knights with Lances. Because what does Norsca do about that? I'm trying to think. Because Armored Skinwolves are okay, but they still don't like to trade with heavy cav. They'll trade okay, but they don't like it. So I wonder if you had 1 or 2 Chaos Knights with Lances, if you could just crush the side game. Punish with Infernal Gateway. If like 2 Armored Skinwolves and a bunch of dogs pile up on your knights to try and beat them, you could just Infernal Gateway the blob. Don't know. It could be something. Maybe cut a pink horror instead of having 3, just have 2. But then use the money to protect them so well they get all their ammunition off. I don't know. Something to think about. I like the general idea. I just think you need some form of skin in the mobility game, or you get run over like you just saw. But yeah. Did Gawa King delete his channel? I thought he did a while ago. That was the last I saw. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Ruckfang. I thought you played fine. In game, I didn't really see any mistakes. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, not really. Anyway. I've never used cav. It's hard to learn, but once you do, it's really nice. Lizardmen versus Greenskins in Warhammer 2. This was a Lizardmen favored matchup. I liked to take it as Greenskins because I thought it was fun, but I didn't win it. I won it maybe 50% of the time, probably less, and most people considered it quite Lizardmen favored. Greenbins did take some nerfs coming into this game, so it got even worse for them, and Lizardmen did get some buffs. So I'm going to wonder what Killer Lion does about it. But almost no matchup in land battles is unwinnable. There's not that many, honestly. Skaven Dwarves is pretty bad. I'm trying to think. Slaanesh Skaven is pretty bad, but there's matchups that it's like, it's not great, but you can win it. I'm going to say this ahead of time. I don't play multiplayer. Killer Lion, we're ready, dude. We fucking got you. Just watch the playback of the match. Yeah, IDKY had the Saber Toss out that far. Dude, it's a common mistake, Chaz. It happens all the time. When I have units with a Vanguard, I know the Saber Toss don't, but like the mentality is the same. When I have a unit with a Vanguard, I'm like, oh, Vanguard, I gotta get it out there in the Vanguard. And then it's way out in the middle of nowhere. And I have nothing, I literally have nothing to do with that unit. And it's just sitting out there as wasted gold, not helping anybody. And it's really hard to get out of the mindset. Or like when I have Cav, and the enemy has 5 Cav pieces and a bunch of infantry. And I have archers, I have artillery, I have all these things, and then I have 2 cav pieces. I'll still run my cavalry out onto the flanks for no reason to just get completely dominated by my opponent, and then they swoop in and crush my archers because I have nothing to stop them, and I'm like, what was I hoping to achieve out there? Nothing! I had no chance on the flanks. I had outnumbered 2-1 in cavalry, and my opponent took none of the ranged assets. So even if I win, the cavalry battle, they're not going to do anything. Like, haha, we won the cavalry battle. Now we'll flank the archers. There are no archers. Great, we wasted our time. So it's really hard to get out of the mentality of knowing where your mobile assets need to be and whether you need to use them defensively or offensively. The lobby did the stupid lobby bug. And it has happened. So I will host again. You don't have Cav in a box. I don't always box. Alright, if you're on the stream, Seraphon and Killer Lion, I did host a new lobby. I'm sorry about that. The Warhammer 3 lobbies have been bugged. Where about 1 in 8 times. Yeah, 1 in 8 times. They will randomly shut down like that. There's nothing we can do about it. We just host a new lobby and get it going. If you're out there and you're hoping to hop in the lobby and you see it, I will probably boot you until we can get Seraphon and Killer Lion back. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Because it's not like they didn't have their turn. They didn't get to play their game. It was just a bug. So, sorry about that. It's awkward, but bugs be bugs. I discovered a secret hidden Dowie technique in order to beat Skaven. Oh, traitor, I am curious. There have been many secret Dowie techniques to beating the Skaven, and only 3 of them have worked. I'm a Dwarf main. I've never used Cav. It's good. Cav's good. It took me a long time to get into using it, but I did eventually. Seraphon's back. Killer Lion is also back. Again, sorry about the delay. Bugs. I almost went double Frostworm, but then he went Tzeentch. Coops, was it you sent me a Frostworm getting healed bug replay, but then I didn't get to cast the replay in time, and then the update came and fixed whatever that bug was because it didn't do it in the replay? Because if I missed that, I'm very sorry. Putting my direwolves there if you want to break the habit. Yeah. Alright, Seraphon's ready. They just booted up their build real fast. Killer Lion is getting there. I don't know why I keep saying Lion when it's clearly just Lion. I'd love to hop in before Humo has to leave us to go back to doing rat things. I have about an hour. So, factor that in to your time. Yeah, Coops, after the update, the replays of a lot of the replays are playing different. So it was kind of funny to just watch this Frostworm fly around and then just get routed off the map. Before, I think you told me to watch for 9 minutes. And before 9 minutes happened, it was off the map. And I'm like, Coops, what am I watching for? It's off in the distance. It's literally not even here. Human Boy, would you say I am skill-wise in terms of someone that just started playing multiplayer? Pretty decent, yeah. Better than most that start, probably. I mean, if you hadn't told me that was your first couple of games of multiplayer, I wouldn't have guessed. I would guess that you had played quick battles for quite a while. Your army compositions are generally pretty good. Your micro's fine. Like, are you going to beat Felcon? No. Are you going to do fine? Yeah. Most people mess up my name worse than the lion part. I have decided I have been standing long enough. Oh, that feels nice. Sitting feels good. What is it? What is up? What is up? Okay, loading screen is done. So, oh no, why do we have foot Azhag? Killer Lion, why do we have foot Azhag? Azhag does have a spider banner, but he's currently, I don't know if it's bugged or it was intentional, but CA took away Azag's Ard Armor and Slaga's Slashes from his abilities. So Azag, for some reason, got nerfed into the dirt. He's still a decent Deathcaster if you really want a Deathcaster. It's not a River Troll Hag. A note for the future, Killer Lion, would be take off some of the spells. Having all the spells on Azag just makes him more expensive than he needs to be. At most, you're probably going to use 2 spells throughout a game, so pick the 2 you want and use them. The reason I say that, you might be like, well, all spells are useful in different situations. Yep, but you don't have enough Winds of Magic to spam all of them in a row. And by the time you spam them in a row, like, Spirit Leech will be off cooldown by the time you're going to cast Purple Suns. Might as well just cast Spirit Leech again. It's more cost effective. Yeah, so just take 2 spells that you intend on using. Aside from that, Black Orcs are a good call out against Lizardmen. They can cut through Soros. They can do good damage to Bastildons or other cheap sources of terror that you want to use on Greenskins. And they do have ITP, so they're not even, gonna flinch that terror. Goblin Archers, 5 of them. Massive Fire is pretty good. I personally prefer Orc Arror Boys and Rusty Errors, the Goblin ROR, but spamming Archers is also fine. Volume of Fire eventually takes all things down. River Trolls did get a buff recently. I still don't know if they're worth it over Stone Trolls, but Stone Trolls have been feeling so shit that I'm open to new experiences. So we do get the River Trolls with their melee attack reduction, and the regeneration will be okay. Goblins in the back line is fine. Night Goblin Squig Hoppers on the far sides is also fine. They also have ITP, so they will not rout from those Bastildons that they want to surround with their armor piercing. Squig Herds did just get a cost increase again, but I think Squig Herds are rather clutch in this matchup. I think they're super great. So, some thoughts on the build would be... Okay, you're in the chat saying you wanted Azag on his mount, but you forgot. Alright, that makes sense. So Azag on his mount and take only 2 spells instead of all of them. Other than that, this build is plenty serviceable. It looks similar to something I used to take. I used to take Wurzag and Black Orcs because I like buffing them up with Wurzag. And Trolls are crucial. I just don't know... Because I'm used to taking Stone Trolls, but Stone Trolls got nerfed and River Trolls got buffed, so maybe that's the way to go. But you do need Trolls in general to surround big monsters and tear them down. So the concept of the build is nice. I would maybe take 1 Night Goblin Squig Hopper and replace it with 2 Squigs. That could be a good, useful note. Other than that, anyway, enough. For the Lizardmen, we have double Cold One Riders. 3 Source Warriors with shields. We have the Star Chamber Guardians Temple Guard from Seraphon. We have the cohort of Sotek Red Crested Skinks ROR. Krokar on his T-Rex. A Skink Oracle with Fireball, Flagadoom, Wind Blast, and Earthblood. Again, 4 spells is probably too many. Could just settle for 2 or even 3. But Wind Blast clears out a lot. I mean, I think the spell sucks personally. But Wind Blast and Flock of Doom are achieving the same purpose as clearing out hordes of infantry. So just pick one of those 2. I mean, Earthblood's to heal, Fireball's to snipe single entities. They serve a different purpose, but you do have overlapping spells of intent. 1 Pterodon's fine. Greenskins can have Skirmish Cav to deal with them, but also with proper micro and dodging, Pterodons can dodge all that, and then they can rock drop out some archers, shock down their leadership, get rid of them. It can be fine. As for the build in general, I think the Star Chamber Guardians are probably an overinvestment. They're a decent unit, but they're quite expensive. And the Greenskins are either going to have something that deals with Saurus, and therefore deals with the Star Chamber Guardians, or they're not, and then the Saurus would just do fine. So, I do think that is probably an overinvestment, but we'll see how they do. My biggest problem is the Cold One Riders. I think this unit just sucks in general right now. Feral Cold Ones got a big buff that took them almost up to Cold One Rider level, stats-wise, and they are half the cost of Cold One Riders. So I think if you're going to go for Cold One Riders, you should just pay the extra 100, 150 gold and get Cold One Spear Riders that actually have anti-large. Yeah. I think the Skink Oracle and Krokar are a neat pick. Krokar and his Tyrannosaurus Rex is really good with cycle charging, and he can snipe out Grom the Paunch, and he actually has the speed to keep up with Grom the Paunch with 75 speed plus the swiftness of Itzel. There it is. Gives him more speed. And the Skink Oracle is also good at sniping out Grom, sniping out leadership. It itself is terror causing, though you will want to kite with it. You don't want to get caught in melee combat. Spell kit of the Skink Oracle is so good. I agree. When should I pick Skrulk in multiplayer? Oh god, it's hard to think about that. Liber One Shoticus got nerfed to just be a Spirit Leech, so it kind of sucks right now. His Rod of Corruption I haven't played around with too much to see its new damage points. He's good if the main threat to your lord is Chaos Spawn, you want a Plague Caster. Because a Plague Seer on a Bell is just going to get surrounded by Chaos Spawn and killed. So he could be useful in the Beastman matchups, could be useful in the Chaos matchups, but Skrulk suffers from just getting too many nerfs in a row, which he did need, but then they over-nerfed him in my opinion. And there's better Skaven options right now, like Ikit and Tzeentch. Tzeentch is more survivable than Skrulk is. Ikit's more mobile than Skrulk is. And his old defining trait was Libra One-Shot-A-Kiss. He was a really good Lord sniping Lord, but now that it got nerfed, it's just like, okay, well, he's a ground caster. I don't know. Skrulk's not ideal right now. Yeah. There's better choices. $50 more gold and not enough to abandon Squeakers at the moment? Yeah, they're really good. People have an insane ability to mess people's names up. Human Boy keeps trying to call me El Llano. Yeah, dude. I don't know why I keep imagining there's an L in there. Krokar's taking a Spirit Leech. His massive health pool should keep him safe from that. And the Skink Oracle's actually doing surprising damage to the Black Orcs. How much ammo does it have? It only has 20 ammo. It should probably focus on the River Trolls or Azhag. Probably. But Black Orcs, like, aren't the worst target. If you're shooting Orc Boys or Goblins, I would definitely be mad. But Black Orcs are okay. Still prefer the other ones, but this is fine. So the Skink Oracle's happy to just keep shooting, as long as the Greenskins are happy to let it happen. Looks like the Greenskins are trying to get their bearings at the moment. Quick little Hands of the Gods from Krokkar is going to poke down Azhag, but him being on foot, whether accident or no, does make him much tankier to melee damage and missile spells. Greenskins are slowly moving up. Now Killer Lion did say he is new to multiplayer. So definitely a little bit of micro lag here. Not real lag, you can see, but micro lag. Where it's just the orders are coming in a little slower, which comes with time. That's just a practice thing. There's no analysis to be had about it. It's like, yep, clicking faster is good, but it's hard to do that shit. These Squeak herds could wrap up and come fight the Saurus, though they're in no rush. They want to engage after the Saurus have hit the Orc Boy front line, and actually, looking at the Greenskin build is pretty solid against what the Saurus has brought. The Saurus being the Lizardmen have brought a lot of Saurus, and Black Orcs and River Trolls will take care of that easily. Night Goblin Squig Hoppers have excellent arm-piercing anti-infantry and charge bonus, so they can come in from behind and really squish them. Smash the beetles. Yeah. Goblins are in here shooting. There's really no bad targets at this moment. And these River Trolls are not having a great time, so it looks like they want to pull away and regen a little bit, which is fine. Squig Hoppers are considering charging in. Minor lag spike. On the backside, Coldland Riders are grouping up with some Squig Hoppers. They are going to kill them, but it's all about killing them quickly and shutting down these archers. And Krokkar is coming hunting. He is taking a quick Spirit Leech from Azhag, but he's also going to pounce on the Goblins. The Goblins are running for the hills right now. Luckily for the Greenskins, though, with effective hammer and anvil. Gosh. They can take out the Saurus without the archers, not like they need them. Star Chamber Guardians are bodying some Black Orcs. That is understandable, but I wonder if it is tenable. Squig Hoppers are struggling a lot more than I thought they would into a Skink Oracle in melee combat. Usually Skink Oracles are pushovers in melee combat. Damage values are about even. Greenskins falling behind a little bit, but in the state of the game, they're actually doing quite well, so I don't think it matters that much to them. They did take out an entire Saurus unit already. The Pterodons dropped their rocks on top of some of the Goblin Archers. And a nice Wop Hop is going to keep... Ooh, good Wop Hop with a rear charge. That'll knock out some more Saurus. The Lizardmen are losing the front line. They're not winning the back line fast enough, and their single entity is struggling to really find a foothold in this game. So I really like where the Greenskins are at, control of the battle-wise. Damage-wise, they're starting to catch up. Skink Oracle has put its sights on Azhag, and it does start to tick him down. Yeah, all damage is good damage. He has no regen. He's not Grom. There's a reason everybody takes Grom all the time. Krokkar's going to try to snipe him again. He gets a bit of value, but he's a foot character, so after the first 1 or 2 missiles hits, he gets knocked over and he dodges the rest. Squig herds have been played with really well this game. Nice job cycle charging with them. Good Flocks of Doom, really punishing any Greenskin blob that forms. This is too many infantry units all attacking the same thing. Again, you should back off with like one of your Orc Boys. But it's an easy mistake to make. Krokkar does manage to dive onto Azhag, but can he attack him through all the Squigs? It looks like he can. Azag's going to get the hell out of here because Krokkar is a hunting. Goblins are now turning onto Krokkar. He only has 95 armor and no shield, and he's gigantic, so almost all of the missiles are going to hit him. Paired up with the Spirit Leech, it's actually a good amount of sapping damage onto Krokkar, considering all of the volume of fire. Squig herds are hopping in because this other one is about to break, and these guys are just trying to keep him off of Azag for as long as possible. Archers still being up and online is great, and the Greenskins have dominated every frontline fight they came across. Even the Star Trooper Guardians are getting whittled down. Can the Greenskins defend Azag? Because if they can't, Krokkar is going to snipe him, and then the River Trolls are going to rout every time he looks at them the wrong way, and it's just become a rout show for the Greenskins, so tricky. Black Orcs are abandoning the fight with Star Chamber Guardians, which means these Orc boys are about to suffer a fate worse than death, getting beaten by Lizardmen. Sorcerer running. For the Unbreakable Skinks, we have 12 left, but it's rapidly diminishing, so more and more Greenskin assets are getting poured into surrounding Krokkar. Krokkar is taking a crap ton of damage. Now with these second Squig Herds, Black Orcs, and River Trolls have all entered the fight. He is trying to push through them. He is trying to path forwards, because he wants to eat that green skin booty. And he will. And he's out. He has gotten some Earth Blood, got him back up to a reasonable amount of health, and now he tries to poop on Azag, but he misses because he's poopy. Another Spirit Leech is going to hit the old Krokkar. And I do like that spam so far. Lizardmen are about out of assets. Their Coldren Riders have just not really gotten a lot done, unfortunately for them. They're just not a very good unit, in my opinion. They take so long to do anything. They take so long, and they're so squishy. Krokkar lands a nice hit onto Azag, is going to tear out him, walks up behind him, and does he land the killing blow? Does he? He only needs at least 2 more attacks to land the killing blow, to be fair. Yup. Azag's doomed. Greenskins have killed a lot of stuff. They do have a big rout coming in. Star Chamber Guardians are still holding on. The archers need to either focus down the Skink Oracle, or they need to focus down Krokkar, but they have to do something. I don't know what the archers are shooting at right now, but... Oh, some of them routed. Okay, that's why this is so difficult. Azag does die. Lizardmen take the balance of power lead. Damage values are still slightly in favor of the Greenskins, but this is exactly what we're worried about. Azag dies, and you see all these white flags go up. Greenskins are over it. They're out. They're running. These River Trolls are having the hardest time killing a Skink Oracle. I swear he was a little bitch in melee combat, but maybe Warhammer 3 they made him better. I don't know. He ain't rolling over anymore. Krokkar sprints into a bunch of archers. He is terror routing some. The other ones are still shooting him as he's going to charge into them. Very nice handling there from Seraphon. Knows not to stay in the fight for too long. Black Orcs, Squig Herds all still fighting the Star Chamber Guardians, but those guys are hanging on till the ends of the earth. And these River Troll Hags are the only thing the Greenskins have left standing at this moment. They just can't hurt this Skink Oracle. What is going on with you, dude? Nothing can hurt you. Krokkar's awfully low, but I imagine the Skink Oracle has plenty of Earthbloods to spam on him. I haven't seen a ton of other spells this game. We've seen some Flag of Dooms. I don't think we've seen any Fireballs, maybe not even any Wind spells, so... Yeah, there's tons of Winds of Magic left. Nasty shot on the River Troll Hags from the Skink Oracle. If she can do that like 2 more times, easy clap. I'd like the Goblin Archers shooting that Temple Guard, because he won't kill Krokkar with them fast enough. True. Fungus with Esser Discipline right there. The Council Guard have been killed, or the Star Chamber Guardians, whatever the fuck you want to call them, by the Black Orcs. We are pretty much down to the 2 large single entities. It is 21 Lizardmen versus 1,000 Greenskins, and the Greenskins are unfavored. And I would agree, because it's some freaking dinosaurs, but this is some campaign stuff going on right now. This is a campaign army, 14 versus 1,000. We do have more archers rallying. River Trolls are rallying and trying to regen up as the Skink Oracle is going to shoot them in the butt. Ah, every shot is so painful. 1 shot kills a model and nearly routs the unit. Oh boy. We're down to 8 versus 1,000. Archers are back. Archers are trying to shoot Krokkar. Archers are trying to turn and fight. Skink Oracle is really punishing those River Trolls, and they rout yet again. Star Chamber Guardians are running. There are 6 of them left. I think they will rally in the hills somewhere nearby, but I don't think they'll do much else in this game. It is down to Krokkar. It is down to the Skink Oracle. I told you they'd rally! You doubted me! Another Flag of Doom spam. Wounding these Black Orcs. This is where it's going to start to hurt. The more these archers rout, the more they're going to shatter. And when they shatter, the balance of power is going to take a noticeable shift in the Lizardmen favor. I just don't think the Greenskins have the backbone. It's not a fault of the build. It happens. But Azhag getting sniped like that. I don't know if they can hang on. Goblins rout and shatter. Goblins are going to get off one quick volley. And then they're also going to rout and probably also going to shatter. Squig herds charging the Star Chamber Guardians. Still 6 out of 6. But they do shatter at last. Lots of shattering going on right now. Lots of shattering. Goblin archers running away. Oof ba boof. Now what is nice, I guess, if you want a cherry on top, your Lord Dead penalty gets a little better over time the longer they've been dead. Damage sustained, damage by artillery, and you really route the River Trolls with one shot like that. You're really gonna do them like that. Okay, I struggle to see how you win if everything's gonna run at the drop of a hat. Skink Oracle has 3 shots left. That's 2 more than it needs to win this game, honestly. Nice dodges from Krakar. Great game here. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. Gobbo Archer's trying to take out Krakar, but the Skink Oracle fires its second to last shot, yet again routing the River Trolls. Just every time it shoots those River Trolls, they rout. Krakar gets a rear charge on the Black Orcs, and he's also going to rout them, and that'll probably send us into army losses, ladies and gentlemen, especially with these archers terror routing. I wouldn't be shocked if the game was like, it's over. It's done. Maybe a terror out isn't the same. Mark my words, when this unit routs, we are getting army losses. Skink Oracle officially has no more ammunition, so it does have to sit in melee combat, which is not where it's supposed to thrive, but apparently this whole game has just been thriving there. They're doing it. Remember, here's the prediction. When this unit routs, army loss is going to hit, so just keep your eyes on him. Whenever he feels like routing, the day is lost. He routed. Army losses. You son of a bitch. How dare you make a liar out of me? Oh, okay. Like nothing changed. But somebody starts shooting fire at you, and all of a sudden it's time to go. I'm upset. Yeah. Anyway. I explained my thoughts pretty thoroughly as the battle went on. Azhag was definitely a bit of a whoops, but Killer Lion did say himself that he wanted Azhag to be on his mount, and then he would have been a lot safer, so shit happens. Aside from that, the Squig play was really good. Really liked the hammer and anvil charging. That was excellent stuff. The River Trolls really bookmarked the ends of the fight and held their own. They just had nothing to deal with the really big single entities, which you maybe could have done if Azhag was still alive and spirit leeching and stuff, but he was dead, so not going to happen. From the Lizardmen side, I really just don't believe in Coldwind Riders as a unit. You played fine with them, Seraphon. I just think they suck. Together, they paid for one of themselves, and you used them super effectively, so it's like, okay, well, this unit blows. It has a niche, but I just don't think that niche is very good. I think Feral Coldwinds and Coldwind Spear Riders fill all of the pockets they need to fill better. Temple Guard honestly did well, because they fought the Black Orcs for most of it. Source Warriors were fine. The Pterodons got shot a lot, and the Skink Oracle and Krakar carried the day, so it's nice. Spear Riders are great. The normal ones aren't so much. It's true. It's true. Switching the map to Bloodpine Woods. It's a small map that's half covered in forest, so be ready for that. I wouldn't have forgot the jet, and for Azhag, I would have had more hope. I mean, it was a pretty damn close game, so yeah, I would also agree with that. Sleepy. Big sleeps. Why do I keep getting pinged in general that there's a thing and there's nothing there? Oh no. That's a Lion King. Oh no. I put a blocker back up, right? Yeah, I did. We're fine. We chillin'. Army losses when I have full life Tyrion left against a few Demigriffs and dead Carl. That's a clear loss. Army losses, there have been 2 Goblin units left against 2 big dinos. Wow. Could get interesting. It was pretty funny. I especially like the thematics of, hey, we got some fucking high elves, let's go. I like the thematics of 2 dinosaurs and we're some goblins. We got this. Oh shit, that dinosaur shoots fire. We don't got this. Army losses. Can we expect any multiplayer overhaul anytime soon? What do you mean by overhaul, Mr. or Mrs. Agoraphobic News? What do you mean by overhaul? I haven't heard anything of the sort. But they're constantly doing patches and stuff to try to update game modes. Like they're trying to turn domination mode into a slower game mode where you can actually play with ranged factions. Which on the one hand, boo, slower, it's already kind of slow. On the other hand, ranged factions getting better is actually nice. Because previously it was just throw infantry at point, prosper. So, it's hard to know how I feel on that. Big improvement the ladder chat. Oh. Total War's never had anything for the clans. We have clans around our discords. There's tons of GGX guys that would love to have you. But RTK, ODM are also good destinations. LS, I don't know. Coops is gone, but I was going to ask if LS is still active without Murph. But yeah. The clan systems, there's never been anything. They did say chat was coming back in 2023. They said early 2023, but you never know if that'll get pushed back. The problem with it is that they don't. It's not that they don't know how to put chat in the game. It's that it like raises their rating with Epic Games or whatever because they can't like moderate chat. So I think they're trying to make a way to censor stuff. I don't know. That's kind of fucked, but yeah, they know people are pissed off about the chat and they are working on it. I just don't know how quickly or how well they're going to work on it. Ladder, I know they were splitting up the queues between land and domination mode in 2023 as well. As for stats, I have no idea. I know they're kind of partnering with Turin, and they're trying to turn the Total Tavern site into like multiplayer's central. And Turin has stats for domination mode, so maybe that's kind of just what they're accepting on that one. But as far as I know, nothing's coming in the client. Finally, the Cathay buff we needed. That actually is true. Like, that really makes Cathay viable in domination mode. Maybe they can ease off on some of the ridiculous-ass stats they've given them. High Elves versus Norsca. This matchup has, even when Norsca was bad, this was one of their tenable matchups because they had tons of line spells with Pendulum, Burning Head, and Sea Fang. Now, Sea Fang and Pendulum are near worthless at the moment. Burning Head also took a nerf, but Norsca got a bunch of buffs, so I have no idea how this plays out right now. Which you'll notice me saying that a lot, and that's because a lot of things change between Game 2 and Game 3, and that's why it's interesting. If I knew everything still, I'd probably get bored really quickly. Imagine making games for 20 years, then you fail at including a working chat. Warcraft 3 refunded. Are Death Runners good in triple blob mode? Yeah. Yeah, they're fine. They're kind of like a surprise pick, though. You shouldn't just chuck them at the middle point for the sake of chucking them at the middle point. But if you run them around the edge of the map and either camp the enemy spawn zone, so if they spawn in your ranged units, they just get instantly dunked on, that can be pretty good. Or try to cap a point if everybody has ignored it. But honestly, I've had more success with the camping their spawn rather than taking a point. Because like when you're playing Skaven, for some reason, I shouldn't say for some reason, everybody's ready for a Death Runner to appear and take a point, but not as many people are ready for a Death Runner to just sit in their spawn and wait for something to show up. You woke me up screaming High Elves there. We do have High Elves. I glanced at the build, but I didn't really sit and process it, so we're waiting for it to boot up. Alright, we're in. We have double Illyrian Reaver Archer. This is fine. They're fine skirmish cav. We have 4 White Lions of Crace. Earlier, I would say that this was a little overkill, but with the Marauder Champion buffs, you're probably going to see Marauder Champions, and then White Lions of Crace makes sense with their high stats and their good armor piercing. We also have a Mage of Life with Shield of Thorns, Regrowth, Earthblood, and Dwellers Below. Again, I will note that I just think 4 spells is too many. I really don't think you're going to get that use out of them. So I would cut Shield of Thorns. I personally don't love the spell. Yeah, I don't love the spell, but in general, I also think even if all 4 of these were good spells, I wouldn't take 4 spells. I think it's just too many, in my opinion. That's a lot of money. Double Frostheart Phoenix is fine. Both of them cause terror. They do have a debuff aura. The thing about them is these debuff auras are the exact same, so they don't stack. And also, the Frostheart Phoenix is the only type of Phoenix that does not have rebirth, so if Seraphon knows that, then good, but if they don't know that, they're in for a rude awakening. Other than that, Frostbite, Armor Piercing, Terror is fine. Then we have Lord Imric on his dragon with all of his buffs. That's fine. He's going to have to snipe out whoever the enemy lord is. I find Frosty is okay, but 2 is probably too much. Probably. Frosty got reworked Knighthood. I mean, it still doesn't have a rebirth, which is kind of a big deal for Phoenixes. As Frostbite, Arm Piercing, magic damage, but I don't know. It's still not my favorite. I understand the concept. I think you should maybe go 1 Fire, 1 Frostheart Phoenix. Other than that, this build is fine. Yeah, this is a fine build. Just next time, maybe 1 Fire instead of a Frost, and then cut one of the spells with the Mage and use the money elsewhere. For the other side, for Killer Lion, we have double Norscan Warhounds paired with armored Skinwolf. And we have more Skinwolves that are not armored, paired with more Norscan Warhounds. For the front line, Marauders and Marauder Berserkers, Marauder Champions with great weapons and Marauder Champions with great weapons. Ooh, that is bold. Marauder Champions, for some reason, have much better stats than their great weapon variant, but the great weapons do have armor piercing, so I guess it's okay. I still think the Champions are just better. That's neither here nor there. Berserkers are usually a pretty good take into High Elves. They'll butcher Spearmen or Rangers, which Seraphon doesn't have, but you don't know that when you're making your build, so they're normal. They're a normal and pretty good pick. We have Throg the Troll King. I really, really like him. And then we have Norse Controls. Fucking Norse Controls. Oh, do we not have a caster? Yeah. Okay. Norse Controls are kind of a meme. They're pretty bad. Normal Trolls in general are pretty bad, I think. Their leadership's just too low to be that viable. And also you don't have a mage, so definitely cut the Trolls and get a mage. Other than that, the Norscan build seems fine. In case of double Star Dragon, you probably want to cut some of the Skinwolves and get either Skirmish Cav, such as Marauder Horsemasters, or some of the Javelin Throwers, because you could get abused by a player that's going to take just 2 Star Dragons and Cycle Charge you over and over again. But I don't know. This is a fine build against a normal High-Elf build. Skinwolves do struggle against Silver Helms or Dragon Princes is something you'd want to watch out for. Because they don't have armor piercing, they just have anti-large. But they can do okay. Skinwolves in general are really good because they have regen and high stats. And just checking a ping to make sure it's not about this. Zesty has joined my server. Why? Who invited them? Gross. Yeah. For casters, Norsca could take a metal caster with Plague of Rust and Searing Doom. Plague of Rust is super good against any dragons or phoenixes or anything like that. Just take it out of their armor, so your skirmish cav or javelins that you would also have cut through them. With no ranged whatsoever and no caster, it is largely on Seraphon to make a mistake, because he has all of the agency in picking fights. Like, Imric can go wherever he wants and get his breath attacks. There's literally nothing that can stop him from going somewhere and doing something. So he's going to have to do that. But, as we did see in one of our games earlier on the stream, he's going to have to be careful about landing, because if you land near the Skinwolves or the Trolls, you can get pretty easily surrounded, and Throg is no bitch. He will mess your entire day up. I think the plus 30 anti-large Skinwolves can do fine versus armored large. Not if they take the charge. Like, they'll take too much shock damage in the trade. They won't enjoy it at all. How much is the Prince on a Griffin without abilities? No idea, but you're asking Knighthood, not me. It's just not my problem. Alright, we saw this last time. We had a bit of lag, and then things calmed down as the game got going. So bear with us for the first 30 seconds, and then the game will run much more smoothly. Much more better. After this game, both of these players will have played 2 games, so we'll boot them out. Let's get one last pairing in, and then after those people play a game or 2, we can call it a night for me, because I have some other things I need to accomplish. Sorry, not sorry. But yes, so if you wanted to get in, shout out in the stream chat, and like the first 2 people who asked to get in, we can let in or something. I don't know how you want to do that. Yeah, the Phoenix King said, all right, let's test your high elf roster knowledge, and then he asked you a question, yeah. Imrik's getting ready for breath attack. I don't think he used one yet. I think that was a normal roar, if there is such a thing as a normal roar. Lyrian Reaver archers are trying to run back to their infantry to get some cover from the skinwolves and the dogs, but it's really hard to get behind your infantry, and your infantry is a line. Yeah. Armored skinwolves are running away from white lions right now. Some of the Illyrian Reaver kite. I think it took out a model. Yeah, they've killed a model. There he is, the dead skinwolf. Norscan Warhounds are slowly catching up to those Illyrian Reaver archers. We could even get other Norscan Warhounds on the side to hem it in. The fight has started, and the High Elves White Lions will win pretty much 1-to-1 against anything here besides Marauder Champions and Great Weapons, but there are so many more Norskins, and the Norskins have trolls, that it is going to be up to the single entities such as Imrik and the Frostheart Phoenixes to determine how this fight's going to go. Also, the backline prominence belongs to Norsca with all of these dogs and skinwolves. So the High Elves are really in trouble on the ground. It's all on the single entities to change how this is going to go. Imrik did get a nice breath attack. He did pop his little Vuvuzela, so he's doing his very best at the moment, but you can see exactly what I was talking about. Skinwolves flank the Mage of Life, and now the only units here that can bail out the Mage of Life is Skirmish Cav, and the Skinwolves are also fine to take in that fight if they want. But good response from the High Elf player, recognizing that his backline is completely fucked, and he has to do something right now. He hops onto Throg, pops a bunch of buffs, and is going to try to kill him. Throg, on the other hand, is going to try to kill you right back with some trolls coming up to help him out. He also has the crown, the Wintertooth crown, so he does have Unbreakable. Now, unfortunately for the red player, we do have a couple too many assets sitting idle, and we can now see Killer Lion has ordered his Skinwolf to charge into the High Elves from behind. Since they're not nearby to punish Imrik or the Frostheart Phoenixes, they just need to kill the infantry very, very quickly. And they are doing so once again, just like we saw with the Squig Herds last game. You see Killer Lion has a good concept of rear charging. But again, like Azhag last time, Throg is currently getting gooned out. So this time we're going to need to see the Skinwolves get through that front line and then come up here and bail him out. Because we could have a repeat of last game if Throg gets sniped. You'll have the rest of your army a little tattered, low on leadership, and they will just get, gooned. Dwellers Below is currently getting cast by the Life Mage in case she was in threat of breaking. She just wanted to get one spell out pretty quick. But the Norskins aren't super clumped up in that area, so I think they might be okay. I mean, it is still going to do a good amount of damage, but I don't think it's going to completely slaughter them. As Dogs and Marauder Champions do commit to the fight right in the middle of the Dwellers Below, you can see it takes this dog down to half HP in the blink of an eye as he charges straight in there. That is going to be brutal, but the spell is ending soon, so maybe Norsca can wither the storm. Yet again, the blue player, Seraphon, is up on the balance of power and up on damage value, but he's down to just single entities for the most part. Imrik is pushing through Marauder Champions, and he charges up to Throg. We have Skinwolves coming. Can the Skinwolves be ordered onto him as soon enough? Throg, stand your ground. Be brave. We are also not near the Frostheart Phoenixes, so neither of the debuff auras is applying here. And we just had a Dwellers Below cast, so it's very unlikely that Imrik has healing sometime soon. This could be a big moment for Norsca to come back in this game. I mean, they're doing okay elsewhere, but the balance of power says they're in trouble. I would tend to agree. Life Mage is running away, half HP on her, and it looks like one unit of Skinwolf is going to be tasked to deal with her. That is good, while more trolls come to fight the Frostheart Phoenixes that have come to buff up the things around Imrik, or debuff the things around Imrik. Norsca's bobbing a little too much. I would like some of these infantry units to go out here and help Throg deal with the White Lions, or just separate in general and get your vigor back while you wait for help. The Life Mage got dunked on by these Skinwolves, which is excellent. You see the balance of power rockets over to the side of Norsca. Now that neither party has a mage, Imrik is in big trouble without any healing for him, and Throg never had a mage, so he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a single shit. None of them. 0. Zip. Zippo. Currently, its Frostheart Phoenixes are piled up. Ooh, Dragonhorn. Well, everything here causes terror already, so the Causing Spirit here isn't that big of a problem. But you can see the downside of blobbing a little bit as those Dragon Breath spells can hit extra hard. Once again, I would like to see some of Norsca separate out and not all be in this fight at the same time. Imric gets a double charge onto Throg, does a ton of damage. He's landing on him. He gets another charge, but this one misses, and he jumps past Throg, and maybe Throg can slip past him. We have a full health Skinwolf here that really has to come over and fight Imric. There are dogs fighting White Lions, that's fine, but the Skinwolves just need to bodyguard Throg, and you'll be just fine. Frostheart Phoenixes do not have rebirth. There is no possible way they get a large plume of health back, and one of them is about to break after that nasty shot. He's 100% gone. The other one, still surrounded, might also be on his way out. Skinwolves are keeping Imric honest. He can't get back into the sky. He can't get his last breath attack off. He can't do anything, so he really needs to get away from them, and he's trying to, but this is a good play from Killer Lion to stay on his ass like this. I know Teclis has Bound, Fireball, and Campaign, Flock of Doom, if you move forward, Green Growth, and Chain Lightning. He also has Net, fool! How dare you not know all of his spells? Throg charges in. If he routes off this Phoenix, army losses might hit. Lyran Reavers are coming back after they fought their way through some dogs. But Norsca did dominate the mobile game. Throg bonks, Throg honks, and the army losses are stonks. Good game from them. Good game. The wide line, the wide lions, yes. The White Lions traded worse than I thought they would, especially against Berserkers. So unfortunately, even I was fooled by that one. I thought they would do better, but unfortunately, they just did not do very well, which really led some problems to the High Elf player. Frostheart Phoenixes did okay. The overlapping debuffs didn't help them, unfortunately. Imric did fine. The Lightcaster did fine as well. It's just they needed some help. The single entities couldn't carry the game all by themselves. Lyran Reaver Archers got chased down by superior mobility, but they honestly also, if you combine them, did fine value-wise. It was just the White Lions didn't do as much as they needed, and the Frostheart Phoenixes, 1 was fine, 2 was too many. As for Throg, he did okay. He was vibing, surviving, running around, regenning, doing great. Marn Champions' great weapons actually traded okay. All right, good for them. Skinwolves did excellently. Trolls, honestly, did fine. They were not punished for their low leadership. They're fine. Berserkers did great. Dogs did fine. The one basic Marauder, Chet, did not do so good. Shouldn't have bunched up and needed a caster. Thanks for the tips. Killer Lion, anytime, dude. Anytime. It was a pleasure having you. It was. I'm not just saying that because you paid me. Though you did pay me, and I do appreciate it. We have Boojalicious. Who will face him for the last, let's say, game? Last game of the night. One more. And then we'll shut it down. Shut it down. Because I have to go do shit, unfortunately. I have a bunch of videos. Aw, Boojalicious. Ever Chicken's back. Boojalicious bugged relaunching. Oh, okay. Alright, Boojalicious is coming to fight Ever Chicken. Nobody else joined the lobby. Give him a second. Okay. I typed in the chat just in case it was after the delay or something, or people just didn't know, but, yep. We're going to wait for Boojalicious. He deserves a shot. He deserves a turn. And then we'll end the stream for the night. So if anybody else joins that slot, I will probably kick you. It's not to be a dick. It's just to try and let him have his turn. Because the lobby was bugged is why he left. He didn't actually have anywhere to go. So, yep. Get him in. Ever Chicken has been in several of our tournaments recently. He seems to be having a good time. He is a newer player. A Patreon sub, a patron, if you will, a good friend, an excellent person. Boojalicious is back. Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Last game of the night. Last game of the night. How often do you do these? Because it was a great learning experience. I've been trying to do them once a week. I've also been... Last week I did it. I just did one. I did it for like 5 hours. And then this week, I like this format better where I do 2 smaller streams so that people in different time zones get an opportunity to come play. Rather than just like a 5-hour stream where European players come play. It's like, okay, well, now we can diversify. So we're trying to do one a week. People seem to like it. Its viewership numbers are all right. Not as good as like real tournaments, but people seem to enjoy it. It seems to draw a lot of people to the Vermin League, so in the long run, it's healthier and it's a good space. Ever check-in is on the Tomb Kings. Boojilicious goes to the Beastmen. This used to feel very difficult for the Tomb Kings when Torox was mega OP and Traderkin was deleting a bunch of stuff. ODM Tretch beat me as the Tomb Kings when I was the Beastman. But other than that, it was really not having a good time. Is the Tomb Kings passive still bugged? Yes. 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 Sorry. I had to think about that for a second. Is Traderkin... Have they nerfed Traderkin yet? I haven't noticed it be super duper oppressive, but it is still really good at what it needs to be doing. It's good against monstrous infantry or cavalry. It's still shit against basic infantry or single entities, so depends on what you want out of it. Yeah. Traderkin's a good spell, it's just not broken. Anyway. As far as this matchup goes, Torox is usually a good bet, but Morgur can also be fine. Chaos Spawn can do alright versus the Tomb Kings because they don't have low leadership. They're unbreakable. So you could summon them on top of archers or on top of Ushapti or chariots or something and get good value. But Morgur in general is just hard to kill, so he's a good guy. Malagor might actually have a place in this matchup because he's flying, and the Tomb King's flying control is utter garbage. So Malagor could be a caster that's uncompromised up in the air and could run around. I also think he has a pretty decent lore of magic, if I remember correctly, because he has a mixed lore, right? So Malagor's a decent choice. Torox is always great. He's always great. He'll do well against any of the Tomb King's lords. He does fire damage, and they have some fire weakness in their roster, so that's fine. Yeah. Beastmen have a lot of good lord options here. Or you can go cheap and just get a caster lord and then make a wider army. As for the rest of that, Ungors trade like shit into Tomb King's infantry, but Gors and Bestigors will do fine if you want to take those. Throwing axes are always precious. Your chariots are pretty good against their chariots. Spawn are fine. Razor Gorhords are fine. There's a lot of things that are fine. The Minotaur bus I've found usually runs out of gas too early, so the Mino bus isn't particularly good against Tomb Kings. I don't know how single entity spam does. I wouldn't imagine well, but I haven't seen it, so maybe it does okay. On the other side for the Tomb Kings, I have seen a Tomb Guard box. It didn't work, but I have seen people try it. It just, you can't stop Torox with infantry. That's not a thing that happens. For Lords, Arkan the Black is probably the most effective against the Beastmen, but he's also the most killable. So you always want to go Cetra if you want a tanky Lord. I hate Cetra, but that's just me. So Cetra's tankier than Arkan. Arkan does more damage, but is more susceptible. Katep is probably not a good choice in this matchup. I have been singing Katep's praises in general recently, but not in this matchup. He'll just die. 100% just die. So, I think Arkan or Cetra are really the only 2 options here. Bow Shopti are good. Chariots are good. Nehakara Horsemen are really good. Yeah. The Hyro Titan is good. No, it's not. That was a lie. Don't take that. I tried so hard in so many matchups to make the Hyro Titan work. It does not. It just does not. At all. It's such a bad unit. Aw, snap. Just in time to eat dinner and watch me some land battles? Hell yeah, Black Knight. Moose is boojilicious. Alright, let's hope the lobby doesn't bug for our last game of the night. Black Knight, this is the last game of the night, sir. We'll end up streaming for about 2 hours, so hopefully you have some stuff to rewind and watch if you really need some more entertainment while you eat food. But It has been a learning stream. If you ever wanted to pop by, we'll be doing these once a week, or see you in some tournaments or something. Though I don't know if you need a training stream, Black Knight. If you're the Black Knight I'm thinking of. Because if you're the Black Knight that I fought in the Warhammer World Cup, you're plenty good that you don't really need training, but could. God damn it, the lobby bugged! Alright. Alright. I'll def be rewinding. Yeah. You got this. Come play 3. Password 123. Okay, hold on. Hold on, everybody. So I made a password this time so I know the players can get in, and I know both of them on Discord. So we know we'll get the 2 people we need. I just realized I said the password out loud, and it's like, that is not what passwords are for. No. Sorry about that. It is a common bug, unfortunately, that if I'm a spectator in Warhammer 3 at the moment, there's like a 1 in 8 chance the game just crashes when we load in. It's happened once in this stream. We actually had a pretty good stream, only getting it 2 times. We'll get the players back in here and get fired up. You doing this nightly now? Once a week, but I have had streams almost every frickin' day of some form of Warhammer 3 land battle content. Boojilicious, I sent you a Discord message. Overcast Traderkin does about 1,000 damage to Cav and kills 7 models. That's pretty good. Alright, players are back. We'll do the same matchup. They should know roughly what they wanted to do for builds, so the build time shouldn't be too long. We should be getting into game. Sorry about the delay. I pitched it a bunch in the other stream, but I haven't actually talked about it too much yet this stream. Of the 27 people, if you people here at this time are interested in some land battles, there is on TotalTavern.com or on my Discord posted 2 tournaments, one of which is in the European time zone. And most of you are like, what? Human boy, you filthy garbage monster, you dirty, unkempt gremlin. I'm at work. I can't ever play in these tournaments. They're all in the European time. Well, my friend, I did say there was multiple tournaments, but thank you for hurting my feelings. The other tournament is right about now. It would be an hour and a half ago tomorrow. It starts, single faction tourney. You sign up, you put your name with your faction next to it that you want to play. Round 1, I'll make sure your matchup doesn't suck ass. Like if you're playing Slaanesh, I'll make sure you're not fighting Skaven or Beastmen because you'll stomp them. And I'll make sure you're not fighting Nurgle, I guess. You know, I'll make sure everybody has an even matchup in round 1. It is double elimination, so if you get trashed in your first game, at least you get a guaranteed second game, and maybe you can make a run up through the bottom bracket. It's best of 1, no picks and bans, so the tourney should go pretty quick. It should just be fun, cheap, and chipper. And I think the reward for winning is a $10 Steam gift card that you could use on DLCs to get more units and get better at multiplayer. So, if you don't have all the DLCs, feel free to sign up for that. Who knows, you might win $10. Yeah. So hopefully we have good signups for that. How are we doing on signups for that, actually? Single faction land battles in the European time zone is 32 players signed up right now, and North American time zone is 21. 21. So if you signed up right now and took your hands off the keyboard, you would have a 3% chance of getting $10. What? That is crazy. That is so incredible. Why aren't you signed up right now? I'm sorry, I'm just this obnoxious all the time. Fucking trash, dude. Alright, blocker, be gone. Blocker, be gone. Go away. I don't need you anymore. We have the ROR Gorgon. We have the ROR Gorgon. That's an interesting pick. I gotta think about how I feel about that. It's not one of those things that I just, oh yeah, I see the ROR Gorgon every day. Here's my opinion on it. I gotta think. I've been seeing it a lot recently. Strat Game, that was the guy. Strat Game used it against me 2 nights ago? Last night? We were playing Nurgle into Beastman, and he used the Bloodbrute Behemoth, and it actually did a lot of work. I got quite the honey-do list on the weekend. Sorry, Venge, but it's tomorrow night. Tomorrow's not the weekend. The link's actually in the description. Black Knight. Yeah, tomorrow's tourneys. There's 2 links. You want the one that ends in... Not that one. You want the one that ends in RHC. So it's the bottom link in the description of the video. Okay. For the Beastmen and the Bloodbrood Behemoth, we already started talking about them, so we might as well finish talking about them. We have Ungors and Gors across the front line. Gors will tear through the skeletons. Ungors will not. We do have Ungor Raiders. I really, really like Beastmen bringing a couple Ungor Raiders just in case. In case there's a blob, any blob in the entire game is punished by any archer in the entire game. Even Goblin archers are good at punishing blobs. So if you are worried about blobs, like if you're just like, man, I just don't want to fight a blob this game, bring some archers, because then if they bring one, they're going to fucking regret it. Other than that, we have Razor Gore Herds. They're quite good against Tomb Kings. They're not OP, but they're good because the Ushabti Great Bows you're trying to hunt down do have 90 armor, and these little piggies go oink, oink, oink all the way home with some fat armor-piercing damage. Do have Centaurs with Throwing Axes. It looks like just one. Another good anti-blob assurance tool. We have Brace Shaman of Wilds with Brace Scream and Savage Dominion. Cygor Summon, baby! Let's go. And Mortar the Shadowgate with his 2 free Chaos Spawn summons. Nice, nice. We also have some Gore Herds in Vanguard. Notes on the Tomb King's build. We also have the RR Gorgon, the Bloodbrood Behemoth. I didn't mean to forget him. Double Tomb Scorpion is okay here to fight Torox, so the Bloodbrood Behemoth can kind of counter that. He can usually have something to fight. I am curious how badly he's going to get murked by Ushabti Greatbows, so I reserve judgment, but on the surface, I understand why he's here. I don't think he's bad. The Beastman build's fine. Yeah, fine. I hope Bujulicious doesn't forget his caster on the way back. Otherwise it'll take him a long time to be here. Forever Chicken and the Tomb Kings, we have Skeleton Spearmen and Skeleton Warriors on the front line. I generally prefer these over Tomb Guard because Tomb Guard are also just going to get rolled. Like, they're not going to win. They'll beat Gors and Ungors for sure, but the Beastmen almost bring something every game that'll punch through them, like Chariots or Torox or Spawn or something. So Tomb Guard in this matchup could be a little risky. Maybe 1 or 2 Tomb Guard with Halberds, but I don't think the front line should be Tomb Guard, so Skeleton Warriors are cheap, chipper, and fine. Triple Ushabti Greatbow, triple Sepulchral Stalker, both RORs included, and we have Cetron, a big kitty cat, with 1, 2, 3, 4 spells. Nope, that's an item. Okay, 3 spells is fine. 3 spells is fine, and they're all the cheap ones, so you actually have a chance to use all 3 of them effectively. That is fine. The Tomb Kings build, I do have a bit of consternation about. Ha, big words. I went to Harvard. No, I didn't. That was a lie. 3 Ushabti Greatbows is fine. 3 Sparkle Stalkers is fine. Both is tricky. I feel like this backline is awful open looking. And also both are weak to the same things. Both are weak to Traderkins. Both are weak to like Throwing Axes, Archers, and Razor Gores and whatnot. And they're both strong against the same things, just at different ranges. Sepulchral Stalkers are good at ambushing large targets and then machine gunning them down. Ushabti Greatbows are good at shooting large targets slowly over time. So I think it's too much investment on taking out something big. Now, the ROR Gorgon might be completely fucked. Like, it might be completely dead, but then you don't really have a ton to deal with basic archers or the Gores and Ungors or Morgur or the Razor Gores or any of that stuff. So it's in my opinion, too much investment to take out, like, the big thing. Like, yeah, if Torox was here, yeah, Torox is completely fucked. The RR Gorgon is here. It's completely fucked. But there's more to a battle than killing one type of enemy, in my opinion. So that would be all I say. Otherwise, this Tomb Kings build is pretty fine. I think maybe you could keep like 1 Eyes of the Desert and then keep 3 Ushabti Greatbows and use like the money on the Sepulchral Stalkers that you could cut the 2 Sepulchral Stalkers to get Chariots or Nehekar Horsemen and get some domination in the mobile game versus the Beastmen. That could be one way of doing it. Or keep all 3 Sepulchral Stalkers, just keep 1 Ushabti Greatbow and then the same advice. But I think this is too many constructs is my point, and I'll shut up about it now. Beastmen are moving up. Gores and Ungors are fighting. Bujulicious unfortunately has some of... This happens a lot in Game 3, and I don't know why, but they sometimes attack in that like column formation. And this is nice if you don't want to die, but Gore Herds need to be doing the killing, so they need to be as wide as possible. When you go thin, you do... Thin, you die less quickly, but you do less damage, so... I don't know, that's just a thing that happens. The Gore Herd flank is paying off, and the Chosen of the Gods are now stuck fighting Gore Herds in melee combat, which they want to do. The Sepulchral Stalkers are like, we're trying to help you, but we can't see anything. On the far side, Razor Pigs are rampaging into Skeleton Spearmen, not something they want to do, and it looks like Centaurs are throwing axes, unfortunately got caught up in melee combat. Now these pigs are surrounding Centra, doing a great job, while he tried to stop Ungor Raiders from being Ungor Raiders. Bloodbird Behemoth is getting shot in the mouth, not enjoying it whatsoever, and the Cygor is here, throwing into a blob of skeletons. Cygor spell is pretty chad. I'll say that for Boogalicious. I think Traderkin would have been better, but I don't think they could have known there was going to be 6 constructs on the field that would all be weak to Traderkin. Spawn Summon's coming out. Go, Spawn Summon, go! Everchicken is up about 3-1 on the damage value. Cetra's still currently surrounded by Squiggly Pigglies. We do have Throwing Axes coming back to maybe make his day a little more miserable. Spawn Summons are mucking up some Purple Stalkers. Mortar is also mucking up Ushapti Great Bows. This Gore Herd is losing to Skeleton Warriors because they're getting shot in the butt by Chosen of the Gods right now. We do have a couple too many infantry units fighting the one Skeleton Spearman. They do need to pass. Like, just take one of them and path and pass. But the Arwar Gorgon is fighting some Eyes of the Desert, which he finally got to fight something he wants to, and he's not currently getting shot by Ushapti. But yeah, this Gore Herd could stay here and fight. Then the Ungor Spearman Herd. Where's my drawer? Could walk at this guy and just be annoying. It's nice to get the British Aim in a wild here, though, because as long as you're stuck here, you might as well try to win it quick. So getting a single entity here is nice. And this is why we love the Pigglies! The Pigglies are doing so much good damage. Oh, they're such good boys. Centaurs are throwing axes, somehow got back into melee combat. That is ambitious, but okay. It looks like they are attacking the Chosen of the Gods, which is better than attacking Skeleton Spearmen. They're still going to die horrifically, but at least they'll buy some time for the pigs to kill Cetra. And man, they're doing their best to kill Cetra. No, their leadership is tanking! Stop shooting them, you assholes! They're killing Cetra! They're doing such good work! They're such good little piggies. Sparkle Stalkers are getting murdered by the Bloodbird Behemoth, and the balance of power has shifted in the favor of the Beastmen, even with the Chaos Spawn Summon now disappearing. I think Morgar still has his free one. So if this Chosen of the Gods gets too low, they could actually turn into a bunch of... Sorry, this Ushapti Great Bow gets too low. They could actually turn into a bunch of Chaos Spawn, which is pretty clutch. It's confirmed, though, there's one more Chaos Spawn to still come out of Morgar. Man, those pigs did a number on Cetra. Look at that health bar. And there's more pigs! Oh, pigs are so good in this matchup. Please, if you're out there listening to this, take pigs into Tomb Kings. Oh, they're so good. They're just good little boys. Boy, they just love doing their best. Alright, Ushapti... No, that's regular Ushapti. Regular Ushapti Summon is fading away soonish. Pigs are trading into Sparkle Stalkers, again, trading up in value. And Morgar is now out here after Cetra. But I worry now he's going to turn these useless-ass Skeleton Warriors into his Chaos Spawn, which is fine. You need Chaos Spawn in general. But it was nice when he was attacking a really expensive unit, so if it got low at all, it was going to turn into Chaos Spawn for him. Tomb Kings, how are we doing? They have secured 2 of their Ushapti Great Bows and are still firing in. There's really not anything near them that can threaten. These Gore Herds are too low on health to really stop Ushapti for any amount of time. So the Ushapti are going to fire in for free. Which they are doing with gusto. Routing off some pigs, but the pigs do finish off the Ushapti Great Bows. God, the pigs are so good! Oh, I love them! Oh, they're so great! Is your opinion humble? No, my opinion is perfect in every way. What makes Traderkin stronger versus other spells? Which use it? Sorry if you already said. It is excellent versus cavalry or monstrous infantry. You want more than one model, but it caps out at a pretty low rate. So, like, if you have 60 models, it's only going to hit, like, I'm making this up, but it's only going to hit, like, 24. So, it'll do, this is made up, but this gets the point across. It hits, like, 24 things, let's say. So, let's say it does 10 damage to 24 things, maximum 2,000... 10 damage to 24 things, 240 damage, let's say. I made that up, but... If you have one thing that it hits, like Karl Franz on foot, it's going to do 10 damage to Karl Franz. Okay, no one cares. If it hits a zombie unit that has 120 models, well, it caps out at 24 models, so it's going to do the 240 damage to something that has, like, 6 billion health. So it doesn't do very much. But cavalry have a limited health pool, and they have less models, so then that damage does a higher percentage of their HP. If that makes sense? So that's why it's good against... It wants multiple targets, so monstrous infantry, cavalry, but it doesn't want too many targets like infantry. So... It's good at sniping out teams, like these constructs for the Ushapti, or heavy cav, or Skaven weapons teams. It's pretty good, those things. Morgar still has a Chaos Spawn summon. I'm like 78% sure that he still has one, and we're this late in the game. I'm really shocked nothing has procced it yet. But these Tomb Kings are so low that you just have to think it's coming soon. Bloodroot Behemoth did surprisingly well this game as also. He was getting focused down right away, and I wonder if like they just stopped shooting at him or they got busy with other stuff. I could imagine they got busy with other stuff, but not taking him down is really coming to bite them in the ass because he's healing up like a monster. So high HP, low model count? Yes, but not too low. Like you don't want a single entity. Like don't use it on a lord. It's not going to do anything. I accidentally took that off, you think? 1, Boojilicious, why are you typing? Here, you need to be winning your game. And no, you have the Spirit Essence of Chaos. You have it. He can't control when it procs. There it is! They fight. It uses it as army losses. Disrespectful game. Disrespectful. That wasn't Boojilicious' fault. He was just waiting for it to proc. And it's like, alright, I'll do it now that army losses hits. Yes. GG to Everchicken, GG to Boojilicious. Everchicken played fine. Like I said, I think we talked about it at the start, but his build had too many of these. So either go with the 3 Seppi stocks and 1 Ushapta Great Bow, or 3 Ushapta Great Bows and 1 Seppi stocks, but it was just too many high value asset pieces that the Razor Gores just tore apart. 1,300 gold value on something that costs 600. 300 for him. 880 for him. So you can see the pigs did really great. Centaurs got shut down. Gore Herds got shut down. Archers did fine. Spearmen did okay. Bloodroot Behemoth actually got really good value after a while, just sprinting around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, got to follow his rainbow. And yeah, it was just really good. It was really good. No idea how to target prioritize and build in that matchup. Everything is called Gore or something. You were doing fine. I think you should have finished off the Bloodroot Behemoth when you had the chance, but it is hard when you're getting swarmed by all that stuff. But the piggies did great. Thanks for putting this on, Human Boy. Catch ya tomorrow, night all. Night all indeed. I am also going to go nighty-night. If you enjoyed this content or enjoy content like this, please subscribe to the channel. It'll alert you whenever we are doing fun things. Murph, I gave you credit multiple times, sir. In fact, Murph, you know who told me to do this? Coops and Central Scrutinizer, Murph. So we gave you plenty of content, Murph. Content credit, Murph. Alurf. If you come back, it is all yours. I will back down. I will never do it again, sir. I will plug your stream 500 million times. But, sir, the new players need your content. Actually, real talk, that is the thing. Central Scrutinizer and Coops came to me and said, you're trying to grow this new player community. Murph had a new player community, and here's how he did it. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, people like sitting in a lobby and learning together. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, that seems smart. And we have been popping off, Murph. We've been popping off. It's all thanks to you. But we miss you, buddy. We do. We do. The Vermin League's doing great, by the way. Anyway. I love you, hubby. Glad someone's out there teaching the peeps. Yeah. We all know who started it, Murph. We all know. It was you. You gorgeous bastard. You gorgeous bastard. I'm going to bed, though. GG, good night. GG, good night.